everyone! So finally I can come online and share this gorgeous magazine kit with you. Now I've had this for about a month now. This was out on the 4th of July, but it's still available on Craft Stash, so I will link it to you in the description box below. It is gorgeous. We were just so busy and I just didn't get to share much in July at all, so I'm really happy that I finally getting the chance to do this. So as I said, this is volume 22 by Hunkydory, the Premium Magazine Kit, and it is gorgeous, guys. So I'm not going to show you anything in the magazine because I don't want to ruin it for you, except my own commission works. I was commissioned to make 3 cards, 3 masculine makes, and I was given the colorway and to use the kit to create 3 cards. I think they turned out absolutely amazing. Now I may have used an extra color there, so this is just a quick advice for anyone that does commissions. If you open the brief on your Apple devices, if they crop the image for your colorways, it might show you the whole image, not just the cropped one. So just a little advice to recheck your brief on a different device maybe as well, because that's what happened to me. I wasn't actually meant to use the purple, but it did show up on my Apple device. But they were quite happy with it, and so am I, to be honest. They turned out so nice. So I made 3 cards, a 5x7 one. In here I used a heat emboss resist technique, and then for this one here I heat embossed the panels of cardstock, and then I cut the birds out of that. And on the birthday sentiment, for some dimension, I also use some glossy accents. It's just a very quick walkthrough in here, guys. And this one was a round shape card in which the bird and the flowers and all I've cut out of a cardstock from the kit. I'm gonna walk you through what all is in the kit now, and then I will make one of these cards with you today here in the video. I think they are so cute, and this kit is definitely amazing one. So we have a gorgeous paper pack with toppers. It's upside down with some toppers, so we have all different ones. This one is called Birds in Bloom, and you can see how these are already die cut, so all you have to do is pop them out, and you have some lovely sentiments as well. And then this one is Lots of Luck. As you can see, it's very Eastern kind of themed, and they are gorgeous. So this one is the Tranquil Days, and then we have A Peaceful Place, and this is all for the toppers. Now we have some gorgeous cardstock. This is real heavyweight, one-sided, single-sided cardstock, and it has that shiny surface. It is such good quality. It really feels so nice. So here we can see the lantern that is actually, let me show you the stamp set first, okay? So I'll show you the stamp set. There's a 5-piece stamp set with a fan, this gorgeous lantern, a little flower, and then 2 sentiments, one with a grateful heart and one that says sending you love and light. And it is a lantern just like that. You can see in there, it's kind of a color inspiration as well. And we have an embossing folder. This is an A6 size embossing folder with all the bamboos and a lovely flower, the cherry blossoms. I think it's gorgeous. And then we have a die set, a 3-piece die set. So we have the bird sitting on the branch and 2 separate flowers. And you can see all these themed right through all these cardstocks in here. Then we have some pattern papers, and these are double-sided, so we have 4 altogether. And again, these are lighter weight, but still that gorgeous shiny surface. And last but not least, we have some gorgeous inserts, and there's plenty of them for your cards. Again, you can see the lantern, you have this lovely Japanese scene And then these are some of them matching, like this one you can see it's matching the design from one of the cardstocks. We have this gorgeous tree, the cat that we've seen on one of the cardstocks again, this lovely fan with the flowers, stork with the bamboos, and then finally this gorgeous bird with all that lovely details. So these are lovely insert sheets for your cards. I think this kit is so beautiful, it's so versatile, it can be used for so many occasions, and the inspiration in the magazine is amazing. I read through it and I think it's fantastic. I can see myself coming back to use these a lot. So now we are going to make one of these cards, and it is this one in here. This here card I made, I already recorded this one, and I'm just going to include it in this video in here. So thanks for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed the tutorial. But first, just super quickly, I would like to show the 3 cards that I sent into the magazine, and the first of them was this 5x7" card. Is the one that we are going to recreate in a little moment just. And yeah, you'll see all the lovely techniques that I used. For the next one, this is a 6x6" top folding card. You can see how ink splattered all over the navy cardstock, and then you can see all the lovely heat embossed birds in 2 different shades of teal, and then the navy with some tealy sparkle through them. I added some water droplet gems and dimension on the sentiment. I used glossy accents. The last one is the circle-shaped card, which I was asked to create one of them, a circle-shaped one. And in fact, the square navy and the bird are cut out of the cardstock that came with the kit, and it's such a lovely, shiny cardstock. So the card I'm going to show you today, it is the first one in the magazine. This is this 5x7" card. The only cardstock I'm using today is white heavyweight cardstock. So this is 300 GSM cardstock, and I've cut one to a 5x7 card base by cutting it to 10x7 and scoring down in the middle at 5 inches. The mats and layers, the largest one will measure 4¾ by 6¾ Then I have one that measures 4¼ by 6¼ and one that layers on top of that, measuring 4 by 6 inches. The 2 smallest ones will measure 2¾ by 3¾ and 2½ by 3½. This scrap piece in here is just to stamp my sentiment on later. I also cut the bird off twice off camera from white heavyweight cardstock again, just using the die. I didn't use the 2 small floral dies, just the one with the bird sitting on the floral branch. So first I'm going to work with some distress oxidings. The colors are Peacock Feathers, Salvage Patina, Wilted Violet, and Chip Sapphire. And I'm going to work on the piece of panel that I've cut to 4 by 6 inches. And using the 2 green turquoise-ish and the purple color, I am going to add them just randomly all over this cardstock, just using my blending brushes. Now this will look like a hot mess, but it will turn out beautiful at the end. I'm just adding them here and there. So on this card, I think I used a lot more purple than I used on the original card that I sent in for the magazine. But you can use any colors in here that you want. I was given the lighter and the darker shades of the turquoise colors, and then I was given the purple and the navy. So that's what I was working with in here. And I am just adding them all over the cardstock very randomly, no rhyme or reason at all. Making sure it's proper dry, so I let it set aside for a while. And I also used my heat tool just to finish the drying process off. I use my anti-static bag and also the 3 stamps from the kit. I'm going to stamp all over except in the middle somewhere where the small panel will be covering it up anyway. So I'm using all the stamps, and I'm using the Wow embossing ink pad. This is an ultra slow drying embossing ink pad, and I'm just adding all these images all over the cardstock. before heat embossing. And the embossing powder I'm going to use today is the Clear Gloss Superfine Embossing Powder by Wow. You'll see me sprinkle it all over the cardstock in here and going to heat set it, and all that white powder that's sitting on top of the cardstock will turn nice and glossy. And then I will come back and I will add some more stamped images. I didn't want to add too many because it's much easier to see once some of the images is heat set where I might be missing some more. So I'm coming in with the small lovely flowers just all over the cardstock, just filling out some spaces, heat setting, and then coming back with some more flowers when I felt where I felt that it needed some more. So now that it is all done, I let it properly cool down. And this is where the magic happens. I'm coming in with Chip Sapphire Distress Oxiding, and I'm adding it all over this cardstock in here. Now you might think that I'm covering everything up, but the stamped images will gorgeously resist the blue, and all that color underneath will shine through. You'll see in a moment when I clean it all off. So this is definitely not a new technique, but quite a popular one in the crafting community, and this one is called the heat emboss resist technique, or some people refer to it as the Joseph Scott technique. All the heat embossed images will resist that dark color on top, which you can also use black or any dark color for. But once I rub it away with my microfiber cloth, just look how lovely and crisp those images look. I just adore this look. So this is how you get inky fingers. I wanted to add some water splatters to this just for some visual texture. I wanted to add some smaller droplets where I sprayed straight from that bottle you see sitting in there, and then some larger droplets where I'm just sprinkling it with my fingers and then clapping it over my top of the cardstock as well. The Distress Oxide inks will react with water, so you can see how lovely splattery and texture that background looks now. I'm using my Cola glue to layer this on top of the 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 inch of a cardstock. And then here, I have no idea where I've lost that footage, but the 4 3/4 by 6 3/4 of an inch of a card, you can see that I added peacock feathers just onto the edges of it, and then I glued it onto the card base. I genuinely don't know how I lost that footage, but I just can't find it. So in here, I glued the panel that we just worked on top of that one. And you can see that there was no point me ink blending the whole peacock feathers or whole of the cardstock because you can't see the middle anyway. And similarly, I did the same thing to the small piece that measures 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. And the 2.5 by 3.5 inch piece is where I'm adding some Chip Sapphire ink splatters, and then I'm gluing it on top of that small one. And this will have some foam pads attached to the back. And I'm also going to reinforce it with some liquid glue, and I'm going to add, you can add it anywhere on the middle of the cardstock. I'm going a little bit towards the top because I will be adding my sentiment on the bottom underneath. So, but first I'm going to color in my birds. So on the first one I'm ink blending Chip Sapphire, and on the second one I'm ink blending the peacock feathers. Sorry, I had to think that. So you can first ink blend on a piece of cardstock and then die cut this once the ink is dry, but then the white would show through the white core paper, obviously. I prefer to it this way, but this is just my personal preference. So from one of the latest Simple Cards and Paper Craft magazine, I think this is issue 256, I believe. And the stamp says happy birthday. This is a solid stamp, so the background will be stamped in the color that I'm using, and the letters will show through the color of the cardstock. In my case, it's a white one because I'm stamping on white cardstock. Because I'm using Distress Oxide ink pad in here to stamp this, I brought my stamping platform out. This is the Eureka 101 Stamps by me. And I stamped it actually, I think 4 or 5 times. I didn't show it all on camera in here, but just wanted to make sure I get a nice crisp image. And then I heat embossed it also with the same clear gloss embossing powder. So now I'm using the mini trimmer, and this is from Stamps by Me as well, just to cut my sentiment down to size. Then I'm going to add a little border of this plain white cardstock around it, using my scissors and that. And this will be lovely and matchy with all the different borders going on all the different panels on the cards already. So I'm just adding the sentiment underneath that main panel. And in here I'm going to glue the two birds on top of each other. So the navy will be on top, the turquoise one on the bottom, but I'm offsetting them a bit. So the turquoise, it shows off as a little shadow behind that navy bird. And I think this is such a gorgeous effect. And again, makes all the colors be lovely and matchy all over my card. So I'm just adding some more quick grab glue, and I'm just using a fine tip glue bottle for the fine detail on the flowers and the bird. And all that's left to do is to add some pearls. Now I didn't have the same navy ones I used on the card in the magazine. In the smaller sizes, just had some of those large ones. So I tried in here that lovely black one. The blue that I tried in there is much brighter color, and it just didn't look right to me. So I decided to go with these black ones. You can see they come from a mixed packet, which I got on eBay quite a while ago. But these black ones aren't pure black on the upside. They play all the different colors through them, and I think they pick up the lovely purple and the navy just gorgeously. So this is what I went with, and I was quite happy with how this turned out as well. But on the card and the magazine that I used, they were navy gems. I just didn't have the same ones left in my stash. So this is the card ready. I will add some close-ups in here in a wee second. So there's the little footage of the finished card. I think it is really pretty. I really love this technique. It's not something I use too often, but as I said, it's not a new one, but quite a popular one, and I can see why. So here's a close-up image as well. I really hope you enjoyed today's tutorial, and if you did, please do not forget to give me the thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and make sure to check back very soon for my next video. Check out some other tutorial I link here for you. Until then, bye!